very English and Sanskrit. So both Mataji have recited very nicely. Thank you so much. Okay, so we shall enter into Srimad Bhagavatam. अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश। हे कृष्णा करुणसिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौरङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिविकासस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। हरे कृष्ण। Hare Krishna everyone. It's nice to see everyone for today's Chat Bhagavatam session. So we are in Bhagavatam 18th chapter, verse number 15, 16 and 17. So I shall share my screen. So just before entering into 15, 16 and 17 verses, so these are about the Harikatha. The Savanakadi sages, they wanted to hear Harikatha that Parikshit has heard from Sukadeva Goswami, and he has got liberation just by hearing those sounds from Sukadeva Goswami. And that Harikatha Savanakadi sages wanted to hear from Suta Goswami. So here, before they go into asking for reciting those katha, so they were glorifying Suta Goswami that Tolayama Levenapi na swargam na punarbhavam bhagvasangi sangasya matchenam kimutashashaha. A moment of devotees association is more greater than a liberation, than the heavenly comforts, and what to speak of this earthly comforts. So likewise glorifying a moment of devotees association. And then they were saying how they are wanted to hear Krishna Katha. Konama trupped rasavit katayam. Rasavit katayam. We are rasavit. So this Krishna Katha is Yashrinvatam rasajnanam swadu swadu pade pade. Rasajnananam swadu swadu pade pade. So we can hear again and again. So they were saying in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, Saunakadi sages, they were asking to speak on Krishna Katha, Swadu Swadu, Pade Pade. So once again here, after understanding that Parikshit, how he has got liberation just by hearing Krishna Katha, once again they are asking to repeat all the Krishna Katha to Saunakadi sages. So we shall enter into the verse. So Tanno Bhavan Vai Bhagat Pradhano Mahatvam Ekanta Parayanasya Harerudaram Charitam Shuddham Shushrutam no Vitanotu Vidvan Tanno Bhavan Vai Bhagavat Pradhano. So tat naha. So tat naha. So therefore naha. So for us Bhavan Vai Bhagavat Pradhano, and you're the great devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavat Pradhanu, and Mahattama Ekanta Parayanasya. You have your greatest among such kind of devotees, and Ekanta Parayanasya, you are always surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead exclusively. You have taken shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. Tanno Bhavanvai Bhagat Pradhanu Mahattama Ekanta Parayanasya. Harerudaram Charitam Shuddham Shushrutam no Vitanotu Vidvan. Harehe Udaram Charitam Shuddham. And Harikatha, it is always, it is glorious. Charitam Vishuddham, completely transcendental. And it impartial. Harerudaram Charitam Vishuddham. Shushrutam no Vitanotu Vidvan. And we are very eager to hear. And it is receptive to Vitanotu Vidvan and ourselves. Please describe all this to us, because you are learned one. Harehe Udaram Charitam Shuddham Shushutam no Vitanotu Vidvan. Kindly describe all those pastimes, O Sutta Goswami. Tanno Bhavanvai Bhagat Pradhano Mahattam Ekanta Parayanasya. Harehe Udaram Charitam Shuddham Shushutam no Vitanotu Vidvan. So translation for this verse is, O Sutta Goswami, you are a learned and pure devotee of the Lord, because the personality of Godhead is your chief object of service. Therefore, please describe to us the pastimes of the Lord, which are above all material conception, for we are anxious to receive such messages. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The speaker on the transcendental activities of the Lord should have only one object of worship and service, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the audience for such topics should be anxious to hear about him. When such a combination is possible, namely a qualified speaker and a qualified audience, it is then and there very much congenial to continue discourses on the transcendence. Professional speakers and a materially absorbed audience cannot derive real benefit from such discourses. Professional speakers make a show of Bhagavata Saptaha for the sake of family maintenance, and the materially disposed audience hears such discourses of Bhagavata Saptaha for some material benefit, namely religiosity, wealth, gratification of the senses, or liberation. Such Bhagavatam discourses are not purified from the contamination of the material qualities. But the discourses between the saints of Naimisharanya and Sri Sutta Goswami are on the transcendental level. There is no motive for material gain. In such discourses, unlimited transcendental pleasure is relished both by the audience and by the speaker, and therefore they can continue the topics for many thousands of years. Now Bhagavata Saptaha are held for 7 days only, And after finishing the show, both the audience and the speaker become engaged in material activities as usual. They can do so because the speaker is not Bhagavad Pradhana and the audience is not Shushrutam as explained above. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So in this purport, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning about the Shrota and also Shrinvita. The Vakta and the Shrota, who is speaking and also who is hearing. It must be a pure devotee like Sutta Goswami and and also Sukadeva Goswami. So this Harikatha is completely it is a transcendental, and one who doesn't have any material desires, then they only can come to Harikatha. They're all purely transcendental, Atma Aramas. Atma Aramasya Munyo Nirgandhapi Urukrami. So this is Atma Aramasya Paramo Nirgandhapi Urukrami. They take only Krishna Katha, not anyone else. So anyone means there are different kind levels of people because they come in contact with the devotees association, and then gradually they will get the taste to hear Krishna Katha. So Krishna Katha is generally some of the material people, they wanted to hear Bharatam or something else. So but everything is only meant for to hear Krishna Katha only. मुनिर्विक्षु भगवद्गुणानां सखापिते भारतम् आह कृष्णः यस्मिन् नृणां ग्रामे सुखानुवादैर्मतिर्गृहीतानु हरेः कथायां. Why we have got so much of literatures Bharatam to bring the consciousness to the scriptures to hear, and then further higher development of the consciousness to bring nearer to Harikatha. So that is the Harikatha is the very very important thing. When we are hearing all this Harikatha, it would include everything else. Konamaloke Purushardhasaravit Pura Kathanam Bhagavad Katha Sudham Api Kannanjalipihi Bhavapaham Aho Virjeta Vina Naretaram. When we hear Krishna Katha, it also includes, it is Pura Kathanam Bhagavad Katha Sudham. It is so beautiful. Pura Kathanam Bhagavad Katha. It is nectar is pouring out. Apiya kannanjalipi bhavapaham. When we drink through our ears, and all this bhava apaham, this material essence completely will be eradicated from one's life. That is aho virjeta vina naretaram. And who doesn't hear unless he is a human being. So that is the level of when we are speaking Bhagavad Gita and or Bhagavatam, when the speaker is speaking and the audience are listening very carefully, then Lord will be very pleased. Evam etam harimedaso harehe katam subhadram kataniyamainah shrinveda bhakcha shraveda voshitam janardhanasyasu hridi prasidati. Janardhanasyasu hridi prasidati. The Lord will be very pleased. So this was spoken by the Maitreya Rishi. So when he was saying about the Harikatha, about the Varahadeva pastime, here we can understand Shrinvita Bhaktya Shravayeta Voshitam. Prabhupada is mentioning we have to hear from a pure transcendental, a devotee. So this is what Sukadeva Goswami is on that level, and Parikshit, he was inquiring very concentratingly. He wanted to hear that all Krishna Katha. Parikshit, he was already devotee of Krishna before he come to this Prayopavesha. And he was also completely absorbed. And Sukadeva Goswami also, he has studied Yadvidam Grahayamasa Sutamatma Vatam Sarvaved Itihasanam Saram Saram Samudritam. Sukadeva Goswami has equipped with all Bhagavatam courses. So now the perfect speaker and also the perfect hearer. So perfect speaker and perfect hearer. So that way the Harikatha will go very smoothly. So here these Saunakadi sages are glorifying about this thing. Tanno bhavanoi bhagat pradano mahattama ekanta parayanasya harehe udaram charitam vishuddham sushrutamno vitanotu vidbhan. Oh Suta Goswami, you know everything. So kindly describe all these Harikatha to us. So that is what Savanukadi sages are asking Suta Goswami. And then further, so in the 16th verse, we shall move on to the 16th verse. Savai Mahabhagavatah Parikshit येनापवर्गाख्यमदभ्र बुद्धिः ज्ञानेन वैयासिकी सब्धितेन भेजे खगेन्द्रध्वज पादमूलम्. Savai Mahabhagavatah Parikshit. The Parikshit is Mahabhagavata. He is a first class devotee. Yenapavargakyam adabhra buddhihi. And apavarga, so by the name of liberation. Yena apavargakyam adabhra buddhihi. And he has fixed his intelligence just to relieve from this material world. Yena apavarga akyam adabhra buddhihi. And so what is the cause? That is Srimad Bhagavatam. So he has Yena, that is the Yena apavargakyam adabhra buddhihi. Savai Mahabhagavataha Parikshit Yena apavargakyam adabhra buddhihi. So what is the katha that he has heard and concentrated and he has heard? Jnanena vayasaki sebdhitena. Jnanena is by the knowledge. Vayasaki sebdhitena. Who is Vayasaki? Is the son of Vyasadeva, Sukadeva Goswami. Sebdhitena, he has spoken that knowledge. Jnanena Vayasaki sebdhitena. Bheje Khagendra Dvaja Padamulam. And he has taken, who has taken, here it is about the Garuda. Garuda is the king of the birds, who has taken the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Bheje Khagendra Dvaja Padamulam. And here, so in such a way, so Savanakadi sages are glorifying that Akyanam, that is Bhagavatam. Savai Mahabhagavataha Parikshit Yena Pavargakyam Adabhra Buddhihi Jnanena Vayasaki Siddhitena Bheje Kaghendra Dvaja Padamulam. So translation for this verse is, O Suta Goswami, please describe those topics of the Lord by which Maharaja Parikshit, whose intelligence was fixed on liberation, attained the lotus feet of the Lord, who is the shelter of Garuda, the king of the birds. Those topics were vibrated by the son of Vyasa, Srila Sukadeva Goswami, and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Again, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So there is some controversy among the students on the path of liberation. Such transcendental students are known as impersonalists and devotees of the Lord. The devotees of the Lord worship the transcendental form of the Lord, whereas the impersonalist meditates upon the glaring effulgence or the bodily rays of the Lord, known as the Brahma Jyoti. Here in this verse, it is said that Maharaja Parikshit attained the lotus feet of the Lord by instructions in knowledge delivered by the son of Vyasadeva, Srila Sukadeva Goswami. Sukadeva Goswami was also an impersonalist in the beginning, as he himself has admitted in the Bhagavatam 219, but later on he was attracted by the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, and thus he became a devotee. Such devotees with perfect knowledge are called Mahabhagavatas, or first-class devotees. There are three classes of devotees, namely the Prakruta, Madhyama, and Mahabhagavata. The Prakruta or third-class devotee are temple worshippers without specific knowledge of the Lord, and the Lord's devotees, and the Madhyama or the second-class devotee knows well the Lord's devotees, the neophytes and the non-devotees also. But the Mahabhagavata or the first-class devotee sees everything in relation with the Lord, and the Lord present in everyone's relation. The Mahabhagavata therefore does not make any distinction, particularly between a devotee and non-devotee. Maharaja Parikshit was such a Mahabhagavata devotee because he was initiated by a Mahabhagavata devotee, Sukadeva Goswami. He was equally kind even to the personality of Kali, and what to speak of others. So there are many instances in the transcendental histories of the world of an impersonalist who has later become a devotee, but a devotee has never become an impersonalist. This very fact proves that on the transcendental steps, the step occupied by a devotee is higher than the step occupied by an impersonalist. It is also stated in the Bhagavad Gita 12.5 that persons stuck on the impersonal step undergo more sufferings than achievement of reality. Therefore, knowledge imparted by Sukadeva Goswami onto Maharaja Parikshit helped him attain the service of the Lord. And this stage of perfection is called Apavarga, or the perfect stage of liberation. Simple knowledge of liberation is material knowledge. Actual freedom from material bondage is called liberation. But attainment of the transcendental service of the Lord is called the perfect stage of liberation. Such a stage is attained by knowledge and renunciation. As we have already explained in the Bhagavatam 1 to 12, and perfect knowledge as delivered by Srila Sukadeva Goswami results in the attainment of the transcendental service of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So here in this purport, Srila Prabhupada is explaining about the devotee and also impersonalist. So impersonalists, so they are always concentrating and meditating on the Brahma Jyoti. It is very difficult. Klesha adhikaraste. It is klesha adhikaraste. So many impediments will be there. It is very difficult to concentrate as well. So this is बहुजन्म विपक्वेन सम्यक् योग समाधिना द्रष्टुम यतन्ते यतयः शून्यागारेषु यत्पदम्. So these people always they wanted to meditate on the Lord is not available for such kind of devotees. They always meditate on the Brahma Jyoti. So Prabhupada mentions such kind of devotees, they even though they get liberation, they will be just outside of the Vaikuntha planets in the glaring effulgence of the Lord. So there is a chance to fall down. Ye anya aravindaksha vimukta maninaha tvayashta bhavat avishuddha buddhayaha आरुह्य कुरुचेन param padam tataha padantyadaha anadruta yushmadangrayaha. So at any point of time, because they believe just only in this one and they don't want to become a devotee of the Lord, and because of that they make a mistake at the lotus feet of the Lord. Tvayashta bhavat avishuddha buddhayaha. Their buddhi is not clear, it is unintelligent. So that's why even though they perform so much of austerities and penances, aruhya kuruchena param padam tataha, and then even though they do so much of things, padantyadaha, they fall down, anadruta yushmadangrayaha, because they make mistake at the lotus feet of the Lord. So that is the stage of the impersonalist. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that do not go nearer to the Mayavadis. Even sometimes they would convince the people and change their mind sometimes. So Prabhupada mentions in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, so those verses, Lord Shankara spoke those verses to Mother Parvati. So that is, we should not associate with the Mayavadis or the impersonalists. That is Mayavadam Ashashastram Prachannam Bodhamuchyate. That is what it is said, Mayavadam Asasastram. And if we hear by Yosham Shravana Matrena Jnanam Padityamapi, so even though the more scholarly person situated, even sometimes their knowledge or the flowery language is that even the Bhagavad also fall down or just deviate from his words. That is the language of the Mayavadi. Sometimes it is mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita in the 7th chapter, 110th verse in the Adi Leela. So that is about the impersonalist people. And also here Prabhupada is mentioning about the three classes of the devotees. So Prakruta devotees, they go to the temple and they worship the Lord, temple worshippers, without specific knowledge of the Lord. And they have got some kind of, but they're also called devotees, but in the beginning stages. And they cannot understand, they cannot recognize who is a devotee, who is not a devotee, and they don't make relationship with the devotees. That is just only prakruta stage. And the second level devotees, madhyama. So the devotees are, they know well the Lord and the Lord's devotees, and the neophytes and the non-devotees also. They are the second level devotees. And the third, but the Mahabhagavata or the first class devotee sees everything in relation with the Lord, and the Lord present in everyone's relation. This is a devotee sees everywhere the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and everyone is in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Atmanam sarvabhuteshu bhagavantam avasthitam. Atmanam sarvabhuteshu bhagavantam avasthitam. Apasyat sarvabhutani bhagavityepi cha atmani. And all these living entities, Atmanam sarvabhuteshu, they exist in the Bhagavantam avasthitam. Apasyat sarvabhutani bhagavityepi cha atmani. And also they see all these apasyat sarvabhutani bhagavityepi cha atmani. They exist in the Lord and Lord existing within the heart. So this is how Kaddama Prajapati was seeing, and his situation was when he left home and then completely surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But when Krishna has appeared in front of Kaddama Muni, he says that Krutvadayam cha jiveshu dattva cha vayamatmavam mayatmanam sa jagat. So he says Drakshasya chapimam. So you see myself in everywhere, all these living entities, and all the living entities are situated in me, and I am situated in yourself. You just situate yourself in such a way, O Kaddama Prajapati. Likewise, he gives instruction. So because when we understand Krishna is in our heart, then Lord is always with us. He is not lost. Maiteteshu chapyaham. So this is Krishna says. Samoham sarvabhuteshu bhagavan. He says, Samoham na dvesti, na me dvesti, na priyaha. He says that Maiteteshu chapyaham, I am in them, they are in me. So likewise, Lord is always with us. So that is Mahabhagavata situation. Mahabhagavata therefore does not make any distinction particularly between a devotee and non-devotee. His Maharaja Parikshit was such a Mahabhagavata devotee because he was initiated by a Mahabhagavata devotee. This is very beautiful. That is Sukadeva Goswami. He was equally kind. So that is Atma Ramasya Munyo Nirdhandapi Urukrame Kurvante Kim Bhaktim Ittam Bhuta Guno Harihi, because both are situated in trans Atma Ramas. Likewise, we have to hear from this Bhagavatam from Atma Ras. Then only we can come to that transcendental position. So that is Savai Maha Bhagavataha Parikshit. So this is beautifully said, Savai Maha. We also see this kind of thing. Kashyapa Prajapati says to Diti, his wife, at the time when she was lamenting about his children, Hiranyakshipu and Hiranyaksha, they become made demons, and then she was worrying. Then because she offered her obeisances to Lord Shankara for making mistakes, and then asking for forgiveness, and asking forgiveness from Kashyapa Prajapati, he says that your grandson, because of your lamentation and lamentation, and also you're asking for forgiveness, then because of that you will get your grandchild as devotee. Savai Mahabhagavato Mahatma, Savai Mahabhagavato Mahatma, Mahanubhavo Mahatam Mahishtaha, Pravujya Bhakta Anubhavitashaye, Nivesha Vaikuntam Imam Vihasyati. So your grandson, he will be Mahabhagavata. Mahanubhavo Mahatam Mahishtaha. Out of all these great devotees, he will become the most greatest of all the greats. Mahishtaha, greatest of all the greats. Pravrujya Bhakta hi Anubhavita. So Pravrujya Bhakta, and he would engage himself in the devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and then Nivesha Vaikuntam Imam Vihasiti, he goes to Vaikunta. That's why. So Prahlad is the greatest of the devotees. So it is, and also because of Mahabhagavata mentioned here, just bringing that to the context as well so beautifully. That is Mahabhagavata's status. And Prabhupada is further saying about the many instances in the transcendental histories of the world, impersonalist who has later become a devotee, but a devotee has never become an impersonalist. So a person who has attached to the Lord's beautiful form, it is very difficult to live. That is the nature of the Lord. And also devotee, but impersonalist, he has not got an attraction for the Lord, and then when he comes to this status like Sukadeva Goswami, he will also become a pure devotee. So he says that Parinishthitopi vai Naidhunya Uttama Shloka Lelaya Grihita Cheta Rajasya Akyanam Yad Aditavan. Even though I am a Parinishti, but I have taken this one, this Krishnakyam is so beautiful. This is Sarvaveda Ithasanam Saram Samudritam. He has learned from his father Vyasadeva, and Saram Samudram, cream of all the creams. That is Bhagavatam. Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalaya Muhuraho Rasika Bhuvi Bhavukaha. That is who wanted to drink all this nectar. They will come and drink as much as they want, even though if it is completely transcendental. It is always coming as we're hearing it coming. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Even though we completely take Bhagavatam, still it is there. It is complete. If it is 1 + 1 = 1, 1 - 1 = 1. That is transcendental. That is Krishna, and all his Krishna's pastimes, they are so beautiful, and it will Api Kannanjalipi Bhavapaham. They will take out this material essence from one's life. But people who are not hearing Krishna Katha, this Vidra says that Tan Socha Sochanu Vidhonu Soche Hare Kataya Vimuka Naghena Kshinoti Devo Nimihasto Yesham Ayurudava Degateshmutinam. Oh Maitreya Rishi, so I'm very worrying about all these people who are Tan Socha these people. I'm worrying about myself, but also apart from me, I'm also worrying about these people who are not attracted to Krishna Katha. So Ayurudavadi Gati Smritinam, they are engaging themselves in the unnecessary material activities. So that is how by sunrise and sunset, everyone's life will be just reduced, and they're coming nearer to death, but they don't recognize. Ayurhariti Vaipumsam Udjannastam Chennasau Tasyadhyat Chunonita Uttama Shloka Vartaya. Except the devotees of the Lord, except their life, everyone's life will be burned to ashes. So they are unnecessarily engaging in material activities. So how this is also one of the Kardama Prajapati prayers. He says there is a Sudarshana Chakra which has got 360 rims and unlimited spokes and 3 center points and 6 edges, which is rotating on top of that and taking everyone's life very drastically, except the devotees of the Lord. This is very also Nati Akshara Bhramirayuresham Trayodasharam Trisatam Sasti Parva Shatnemi Anantachedi Yatrinavi Karala Sroto Jagat Achedhyadhava. This is the beauty of the Sudarshana Chakra, how it is rotating and taking everyone's life except the devotees. Nati Akshara Bhramirayuresham Trayodasharam Trisatam Sasti Parva 360 Trayodasharam Trishatam Sasti Parva. So that is it is taking everyone's life, but we have to understand what is happening every moment. Are we hearing Krishna Katha or not? And so because just hearing Krishna Katha, so all these lamentations and difficulties in our life, whatever the stress, everything will be completely removed. Then if one engages himself directly in the devotional service, what to speak of such kind of person's glories. अशेषङ्के समन्विदत्ते गुणानुवाद श्रवणमुरारेः किं वा पुनश्चरणारविन्द परागसेवा रतिरात्मलब्ध. See how beautiful, even just by hearing Krishna Katha, one is getting such asesam klesha samam vidhatte gunanuvada shravanam murarehe kim va punastachararavinda. And what to speak of, who has taken shelter of lotus feet of Krishna. So that is what beautifully, that is Krishna Katha, everywhere hearing Krishna Katha. That is very beautifully, every moment relishing. And also when we are hearing the Lord's beauty, it is His glories. And lasat pankaj kinjalka pita kausheya vasasam. See, this is when we are reciting these verses in Sanskrit, and we can directly understand such a relishment in going in the heart. That is directly connecting where the Lord is reciting as a super soul. He is witnessing us, and we are also feeling it. That is direct perception. Pratyavagamam dharmyam susukam kattum avyayam. That is Krishna is saying. Pratyakshavagamam dharmyam. We have to hear all this from a pure devotee of the Lord, like Sukadeva Goswami and Sutta Goswami. So here, so devotee is higher than the step occupied by an impersonalist. And also impersonalist has to go more sufferings than achievement of reality. So the knowledge imparted by Sukadeva Goswami unto Maharaj Parikshit helped him attain the service of the Lord. This is what Kim va punastachararavinda paraga seva retiratmalabdha. This is helped him attain the service of the Lord. And this stage of perfection is called apavarga. What is apavarga? Nishamya pumsam apavarga vardhanam. And who does want to engage himself in the horrible works of this material world? Nishamya pumsam apavarga vardhanam. This once again, Maitreya Muni says to Vidura about when Devahuti was very interested to ask Kapila to speak about the yoga, or what to relieve from all the kinds of disturbances. Iti somatuhu nirvadhyamipsam nishamya pumsam apavarghavardhanam. That is nishamya pumsam apavarghavardhanam. Then Lord will be diya binanja atmavatam satam gatihi. Lord will be very pleased. Okay, that is apavarga. So that is the perfect stage of liberation. Simple knowledge of liberation is material knowledge, and actual freedom from material bondage is called liberation. So liberation means it is not that we disappear from this material world. It is completely free from the material activities. Make all activities transcendental in relation and dovetailing with Krishna. Then it is called liberation. Okay, so attainment of the transcendental service of the Lord is called the perfect stage of liberation. That is transcendental service of the Lord. So such a stage is attained by knowledge and renunciation, as we have already explained in the Bhagavatam 1-12. This is Tashaddhadana Muniyo Jnana Vairagyuktaya Pasyanthatmani Chatmanam Bhaktya Shrita Gruhitaya. So this is, we have to execute the devotional service as we have heard from the bona fide spiritual master as it is. Tashraddhadana Muniyo, and with Jnana Vairagyuktaya Pasyanthatmani Chatmanam Bhaktya Shrita Gruhitaya. So this is, then what happens? Jnanena vairagya yuktena bhakti yuktena chatmana paripasyati udasinam prakritim cha hataujasam. Then material nature doesn't work on that particular person when he is completely engaged himself in the jnana vairagya and engaging in the devotional service. Then nature doesn't work on that particular person. And this is parasparam tad gunavadu seed. Parasparam tad gunavad seedu piyoshinijapita deha dharmaha. Piyoshinijapita deha dharmaha. And so that also, so here Kadama Prajapati says that one, and also Kapila Bhagavan says, Krishna says that one everywhere, and Prabhupada is stressing that point here. And it is, that stage is attained by knowledge and renunciation, as delivered by Sukadeva Goswami results in the attainment of the transcendental service of the Lord. That is the beauty of it. So that's why Saunakadi sages, they are saying, Savai Maha Bhagavataha Parikshit Yenapavargakya Madabhara Buddhihi Jnanena Vayasaki Siddhitena Khageke Bheje Kagendra Dvaja Padamulam. This once again, this Khagendra, this Garuda, he is always with the Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Wherever he is, and even when he flaps his wings, and the sound Samaveda, the hymns comes from his flapping of wings. So Maitreya Muni says, Nirikhyatha tasya yayavesha siddheshurabhishta siddhamargah akarnayan patra ratendra pakshaihi uccaritam stomam udina sama. Uccaritam stomam udina sama. When the akarnayan patra ratendra pakshaihi, when the Rathendra Paksha, when Garuda is flapping his wings, and Ucharitam Stoma Udhina Sama, these hymns from the Sama Veda, they will come out from that sound would come. So that Garuda, who is always taken the shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is very beautifully mentioned. Okay, so that is 16th verse, and we shall enter into 17th verse. Tannah param punyam asamrutartham आख्यानमत्यद्भुतं योगनिष्ठम् आख्याह्यनन्तचरितोपपन्नं पारीक्षितं भागवताभिरामम् तन्नः परं पुण्यम् असमृतार्थम्. So therefore, O Suta Goswami, tannah param punyam asamrutartham. Tannah param, what is that param? That supreme punyam asamrutartham. As it is, that purifying Bhagavatam, Akhyanam Achadbhutam Yoganishtam, that narration is very wonderful and compact in Bhakti Yoga. Akhyanam Achadbhutam Yoganishtam. Yoganishtam, that is compact in Bhakti Yoga. Nishta, it is completely concentrated Nishta and without any deviation. Akhyanam Achadbhutam Yoganishtam. Akyahi Ananta Charitam Upapannam. Akyahi Ananta Charitam Upapannam. Parikitam Bhagavata Abhiramam. So kindly, all this Bhagavatam contains all the devotees' pastimes. And Parikshit, he has heard that Srimad Bhagavatam from Sukadeva Goswami. So kindly explain all this knowledge to us. So likewise, they are asking, and these are when Vyasadeva also, he has compiled all the Puranas and all this Mahabharata and everything, he was not happy. He was also thinking, Kim va Bhagavata Dharma na prayena nirupitaha. I have not Kim va Bhagavata Dharma na prayena nirupitaha. I did not compile Srimad Bhagavatam. Priyaha Paramahamsanam Tayevahi Achyuta Priyaha. It is always direct to Paramhamsas. Paramhamsas always take pleasure only in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Lord also takes pleasure in them. I have not done that Srimad Bhagavatam yet. Is that the reason for my unhappiness? And see here, that is what here Savanakadi sages are also saying that Tannah param punyam asamrutartham akyanamatyadbhuta yoganistam akyahyananta charito upannam parikitam bhagavatabhiramam. So translation for this verse: thus please narrate to us the narrations of the unlimited, for they are purifying and supreme. They were spoken to Maharaja Parikshit, and they are very dear to the pure devotees, being full of bhakti yoga. And purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And what was spoken to Maharaja Parikshit, and what is very dear to the pure devotees, is Srimad Bhagavatam. And the Srimad Bhagavatam is mainly full of the narrations of the activities of the Supreme Unlimited, and therefore it is the science of Bhakti Yoga, or the devotional service of the Lord. Thus, it is para or supreme, because although it is enriched with all knowledge and religion, it is specifically enriched with the devotional service of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So this is why devotional service is very important. This one also mentions by the demigods, they are praying to the Supreme Lord, saying that Tada Parechatma Samadhi Yoga Bhalena Jitva Prukritim Bhalishtam Twameva Diraha Purusham Shanti Tesham Sramaha Syanatu Sevayaye. So just so many people, the great sages, they are Tata Parichatma Samadhi Yoga. They sit and then keep themselves in the Samadhi, and then it is very difficult. Bhalena jitva prakritim bhalistam. Bhalena jitva prakritim bhalistam. They have to do purifying activities, dharana, pratyahara, all this stuff, Ashtanga Yoga, and then they can concentrate further. Likewise, they will get a liberation. But the devotees, Twamyavadiraha Purusham Vishanti, Tesham Srama Syanatu Sevayate, without much difficulty of such kind of labor, they simply engage themselves in the devotional service of the Lord. They attain the highest perfectional stage of human life. That is attaining the devotional service, become a devotee and exist it in the go back to Vaikuntha or Goloka Vrindavana according to the consciousness of a devotee, the relation and the mood rasa, the loving exchanges between the Lord and a devotee. That way he will go to either Vaikuntha or the Goloka. But for Krishna devotees, always aiming to Goloka Vrindavana. Likewise, Prabhupada is mentioning here. So it is the science of Bhakti Yoga or the devotional service of the Lord. It is always Para, the Supreme, enriched with all knowledge and religion. Once we go back to Goloka, what we have to do there? We have to do all these things, practice here when we are in the human body. And then only we can continue, resume that service in the Goloka Vrindavana with the Lord. Either whatever it is, that is the likewise, Anukad sages are asking Sweta Goswami, Tannah Param Punyam Asamrutadham Akchanam Atyadbhutam Yoganistam Akyahi Ananta Charito Upapannam Parikitam Bhagavatabhiramam. Likewise, they are very devoted to the Supreme, the devotees, or to hear about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are always transcendental. So many people in the past, they have heard and they have got those attainment of the perfection of life. And we are here, and also after some time, after 100 years, we may not be here. Another devotees, next generations will be coming, taking shelter of this Bhakti Yoga, and then they will go back to Godhead. So this is transcendental, always eternally existing. So that is Prabhupada has given a beautiful gift to all of us. That is from Srimad Bhagavatam. So I stop here and I requested your devotees, if you have got any questions or comments or any corrections, kindly speak out. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Amogha Prabhu. So wonderful to hear you. This wonderful narration of Srimad Bhagavatam, and your Sanskrit and everything is making it so wonderful. Just I feel just it's so getting so purified in the heart the way you narrate. I just want to know that when the whole assembly where there were also different philosophers at the time when Maharaj, when Shukadeva Goswami was speaking, where they would all be liberated like the way Parikit, Parikit, of course, he was cursed. He was going to leave his body, and of course, he's going to go to spiritual world. And all the others, what is the effect on them? Because they had different philosophies in it. So will they be purified like Parikit Maharaj?
Yes, Mataji. So unless if any person sitting and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, so that means they have completely coming onto the lotus feet of the Lord. Of course, there are different philosophers. Like Narada Muni was there, Vyasadeva was there, and so many other people also sitting there. Sotu Goswami was sitting there. And Parikshit, his time was only 7 days. All other people, they have to go and execute their devotional service after hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Still, they have time, because here Parikshit, he is the emperor and also he is the greatest personality. That's why it is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. If we mention each and every devotee, then we will have unlimited scriptures in the Vedavangmayam. So they also have got because they sat and here and they saw the Parikshit, so definitely they are in the devotional service. They have, no one has left that assembly hall.
But would the now I just want I'm just curious, would they have realization just like Parikshit Maharaj? I mean, I know they were not cars to drive now, but will they all be doing devotional service the way Parikshit Maharaj did?
So once again, how a devotee is hearing, that is also depends. So we cannot say all devotees are liberated, because the with the mood one has surrendered to hear, that mood depends whether it will take this life itself or few moments itself, or it will take ages or maybe next life also. But still, but it is definitely it is in short duration of time, but not very long. But how focusedly I am hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, how focusedly I am concentrating all my dhyana, Vaikunta Abhidhyana. So that is Vaikunta Leela Abhidhyana. I am always doubting everything in relation to Krishna. That is most important. There is nothing else except Krishna's pastimes, man. In such a when we dovetail that way, he is liberated. And as soon as his time comes, uh, that means he is going back to Godhead. But that is how seriously we are hearing. If you are not hearing properly, then it may take further it may take another further if we, because still we have desire, still we have attachment to something else, that way. Otherwise we need a krupa siddhi from the spiritual masters or from the mercy of the Lord. That way we need like Ajamila got a mercy from the Lord. Likewise we need some krupa. But Lord arranges some we do not have to worry. If a person is hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, that means he is already in the right path. It is either it is 1 day or 2 days or maybe 3 days, but definitely he will go. So we do not have to worry about. We have been so many life. Bahu janma vipakvena jana bahunam janmanamante jnanavanmam prapajyate vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. So it is not very far as once he is hearing Krishna Katha, a short duration of life. Sometimes because of desires, he may take a different thing. And then, for example, if we see the Gajendra, so he was completely in the devotional service, but due to he got one more life as a Gajendra, and then Lord has come to rescue him because his prayers, and then he has taken him to Vaikuntha. So likewise, Lord arranges such kind of pastimes.
Thank you. Thank you. Also, the way all the Namishanar and all the sages, the way, I mean, they had, wonderful motive. That's why they started all the yagna, to thinking of all these Kali Yuga, what will happen. And uh, but they couldn't do like Krishna Katha, because after they hear Krishna Katha from Shukta Goswami, the way they were asking the question, it sounds like they were already, so much purified. I don't know whether it is after hearing from Shukta Goswami, or was there inside of them already, and now because of hearing it's coming out. How is it all?
So they have here, they are already devotees. They know all about Krishna Katha before itself. Like Parikshit also, he was a devotee since he was in the womb. And then at the end, he was hearing from Sukadeva Goswami. He was also devotee at the time. But Parikshit, since beginning, he was also devotee, but he has heard Srimad Bhagavatam once again when he was leaving the body. Until that time, when he was in the Digvijaya Yatra, at that time also, he was hearing all the Krishna Katha wherever he was going. People used to speak about his forefathers and how they are relating with Krishna, and he used to give those things. So by the time itself, Parikshit knows about Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is the stories of devotees. So, but at the end, once again, it is Srimad Bhagavatam is for us. So, because here Parikshit and Sukadeva Goswami, they're just like acting, but actually it is meant for the entire humanity. Otherwise, there are so many pastimes again. Here, when Savanakadi sages and Suta Goswami are inquiring, it is not only Bhagavad Purana, there are so many other scriptures also have been described, like other Puranas. Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Padma Purana, Vishnu Purana, those are also have been carried out. But Srimad Bhagavatam, it is giving more, it is Yashwaranvatam Rasadhanam Swadu Swadu Pade Pade. That's why they wanted to hear Bhagavatam more. And from Sudha Goswami, he is also like a Sukadev Goswami.
Also, another question from me. I just want to, like the way Parikshit Maharaj had acted, just not, he thought, oh, he hasn't really, he couldn't understand what was happening, when he went to the sages thing, and he was angry. And but then Kali enter into because he is they're Brahmanas. The Kali enter into the head of the Brahmana, and he cursed. So I mean, I'm sure this is all Krishna's arrangement, because otherwise it wouldn't happen, because Bhagavatam had to come. And this is the way Bhagavatam came. So how could Kali enter into the head of the Brahmana boy?
So there are two angles. One is when Parikshit, he was a devotee of the Lord. He is always conscious of his position. When he was going in the forest, and people, they have complained about there are so many wild animals they are disturbing, then he went for the forest to reduce those numbers. But he did so much of it, but he has engaged in killing the animals. That is one thing. So that means something, somewhere or other, something, this Kali influence might come to the Parikshit. That is one thing, even though he knows that, but he engaged in the killing of the animals. That is one thing. And that is one angle. And from the Shringi and Shemika Rishi, he is a Brahmana, and he is always engaging in the meditation. And he is also devotee of the Lord. His child, Shringi, he was a boy. Boys are always childish, and they immediately get angry if they don't get anything, and they immediately be pleased. Even if they do some mistake, no one do anything to them. They will simply understand that it is childish nature. So it is the immature boy. He's an immature boy. And as soon as he sees that his father, because of his loving affection towards his father, he cursed Parikshit. So there is no wrong from the boy perspective, but from the outside perspective, uh, whatever he's cursed, it is very big punishment to the king, and to the so much of that country, that kingdom. He is the emperor of the world. So that way, but the Lord's arrangement is so beautiful. But this is also cursing Brahmana boy, because at that time, from the Kali Yuga onwards, everyone needs to become a Brahmana by the purificatory processes. But before that, if a Brahmana son is also a Brahmana, he will get that kind of um, powers from their parents. That is the stage of it. So whatever they say, it would come true. And he was also in that position. And there is no one to blame at that particular time, even though he curses Parikshit. He was a childish, everyone thinks that he was a childish. And also Parikshit, he is completely pure. There is nothing for him to remain in this material world. That is one angle. And his children, like Janamejaya and other children, they're also grown up to carry out his duties, and to carry forward. And also the influence of Kali has to spread. Kali has to do his duty on the people, Apriti Buddha Chetasan, who are not developed on Krishna consciousness. Uh, that has to be done. So everything has to go as per the predefined dharma, based on that time and situation, place.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
And
Great. Wonderful.
And also Suta Goswami, his father, Romaharshana, he was speaking similar kind of Puranas at the time. Lord Balarama goes there and then he could not stand up. And because of that, Lord Balarama taking Kushagras, he killed him. But later on, he blessed Suta Goswami, you live longer, or whatever your father has received blessings from all the Brahmanas here, and that all blessings, O Suta Goswami, you would receive. Likewise, Suta Goswami is a long living person. So between the time of Balarama and Krishna's that time and also Saunakati sages, he is living for longer period. If we understand, that is also one of the situations when Lord Balarama blessed Suta Goswami or Ugrashrava. His name is Ugrashrava, son of Romaharshana.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank
Very
you.
grateful. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, thank you for a wonderful class. Prabhuji, just thank you for your eloquent responses to Mataji's questions. Just one observation. Actually, in the audience, some, not all were practicing Bhakti Yoga. There were many Jnana Yogis, Astanga Yogis, a whole different cross-section was there, which is why Sukadev Goswami, when he makes many comments through the Bhagavatam, he is actually making broad brush comments to appease that spectrum that sits within the audience. Not all were pure devotional service practitioners. So not all would necessarily get immediate liberation. As you rightly say, it would take many lifetimes for many. Certainly the purification process, it started by them being in presence there, but not all would have the same destination immediately.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, that's perfect. Yes, correct, Prabhuji. So
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
The devotees of Prakrita, Madhyama, and the Mahabhagavata. So as Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, like we see in the temples, likewise. So devotees are also in that assembly in this different levels. Thank you, Prabhuji, for highlighting that point. Okay, so any other questions, or if you're all happy, we are already nearer to 9 o'clock. We shall conclude our session if you're all happy. पञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां
पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Thank you, Prabhuji, for a
Thank you,
wonderful
Prabhuji, for the
class.
Thank you,
wonderful
Prabhuji.
class. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Absolutely wonderful.
Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Lovely class. Wonderful. Hare